everyone, welcome to my channel. On my channel sometimes I talk about mental health and sometimes I talk about whatever I want. Today it's gonna be this whatever I want type video. I just want to share my thoughts on one of the most popular, annoying and destructive cultural delusion when it comes to women. As an example, I want to look at some content classically Abby put out. Abby is Ben Shapiro's sister, she has a YouTube channel and she's an opera singer. She has a very beautiful voice, by the way. So some time ago she posted this tweet where she showed a picture of Madonna in bed next to the picture of Nancy Reagan with her family and wrote, "Trashy living versus classic living. Which version of yourself do you want to be?" She also said very similar things about Shakira and Jennifer Lopez because of the way they dress and perform. Here is the picture of that particular performance. Now let's look once again at the question Abby asks. Which version of yourself do you want to be? So the implication here is the following. If these trashy whores just stop overindulging in sex and read a book for a change, they will discover this better version of themselves, who would never want to dress or dance in a sexy way, who would never want to take a sexy picture. And it's not just Abby who thinks this way, a lot of people think this way. And this is just not true. That's how it works for some women, but definitely not for all of them. The reality is much more complicated than that. Different women have different personalities. Some women are more girly and agreeable and they are kind of more traditional, and some are more edgy and sometimes sexy. And if this edgy woman happens to be creative, then these personality traits are going to be multiplied by 100. If you put edgy and creative together, you'll get someone like Madonna. If Madonna didn't have sex at all in her life, maybe her life would be a little bit different, but not a lot. She still wouldn't be a happy buttoned-up housewife. She's a rebel and a bad girl by nature. We've got to understand that people with different personalities process reality differently. People high in openness can achieve transcendent states of mind without sex, drugs or alcohol, so they naturally want to push the boundaries and live on the edge, and very often it is misrepresented as indulgence in vices or poor intellectual development. If you want to have art and innovation in this world, you're going to have to learn to live with those types of people. And some of these people are going to be women, whether you like it or not. I personally have been slut-shamed quite a bit in my life for simply being who I am. In that particular period of my life, I was educated, hardworking, highly motivated. I was asexual in every shape or form. And at the same time, I had an adventurous and wild and extroverted side to my character. And I enjoyed going to a party and doing some sexy dancing on the bar counter, among other things. And I'm really not sorry about any of it. It was a lot of fun for sure. I don't regret it. In a lot of ways, having some adventures and living in the moment helped me deal with all the stress of constant studying and trying to be the best at everything. And I was hated for having fun. I was verbally and physically assaulted because of it. I also heard plenty of stories from many women that were immeasurably, incomparably worse than mine. We've got to stop name-calling women for not behaving like Virgin Mary all the time. It's dumb, it's punishing a lot of women who did absolutely nothing wrong, and it fits the rape culture. It's ridiculous that a shit ton of people have so little insight into female psychology. If you really want to know who the woman is, look at her in general. Don't base your judgment on a picture or a dance. Look at Madonna in general, for example. She is a pretty good artist. Her songs aren't pornographic like a lot of modern music is. She adopted 4 children from Malawi and dramatically changed their lives forever. You've got to have a big heart to do something like this. I may not like absolutely everything about her, but I admire her ability to express herself and just do her thing regardless of all the hate in her direction. Or we can look at Jennifer Lopez and Shakira in general. They are in long-term relationships and have children and just generally seem like wholesome, well-adjusted individuals. And by the way, if a woman waits a long time to have sex, that doesn't mean she doesn't want to. Maybe she just doesn't want to be judged by society. And if she doesn't wait a long time, that doesn't mean she's hedonistic. You may be asexual and have sex with someone very soon because you are manic or depressed or have PTSD or borderline personality disorder. And maybe she simply does what a man wants and not what she wants. All of these things are very widespread. Female sexuality is much more in a woman's head rather than anywhere else. I'm not encouraging hookups here. It might be dangerous because there's a lot of idiots out there. I'm just saying that it is not inherently immoral, even if you consider hedonism to be immoral. Anyway, I personally don't ever feel the need to tell consenting adults what to do with their bodies, but if you want to do that, there is a more reasonable and productive way to have this conversation. Of course, too much sexual activity can interfere with your spiritual development, with your ability to have meaningful relationships, and may diminish the quality of art you produce if you are an artist, and so on. And this is true for both genders, not just for women. I hope that someday we can all get to a realization that women and men have equal right for sex. We're not there yet, unfortunately. Woman is not a drink, or a dress, or a picture, or a dance, or time it takes for a man to get her to bed. You can only judge who the woman is by getting to know her in general. There are no shortcuts. We've got to provide space for women to express themselves, be eccentric, be weird, as long as it doesn't hurt others, of course. I've been wondering for a long time, where did this whole ridiculous double standard come from? I mean, the tendency to demand purity and modesty in everything from women, but not really demanding the same things from men. I believe it has to do with the fact that in the past, women did not have the same educational and career opportunities. There was no birth control or paternity test, so women getting pregnant out of wedlock was in real trouble. Or maybe it has to do with the fact that men want their virgins, because they refuse to see women as equally complex individuals who deserve the same rights. I don't know, and I don't care. I just want these things to stay in the past. That doesn't mean that traditions don't matter to me at all. No, I fully understand that human beings aren't exactly blank slates. The traditions often reflect patterned behavioral regularities wired into our biology. They can give us valuable insights into how to deal with life. It might be considered a wisdom of humanity or something, but that doesn't mean that everything traditional is true in some final sense, or that traditions are a perfect guide on how to act. There are a ton of terrible traditions, for example, female genital mutilation, or forced arranged marriages, or denying women education, or honor killings, or homophobia, to name just a few. Traditions aren't the only thing that matters. We also should take into account that human beings are diverse, that there's a lot more variability between the individuals than between the groups, and we have technological advancements now like birth control and paternity tests. All of these things matter a lot. We are not lobsters, we are humans, we are much more complicated. Sometimes women can be the best version of themselves and still not fit into this traditional or classic box. I certainly have some aspects of my character that aren't traditional. I like them. They aren't hurting anybody else, and I intend to keep them. It's not exactly clear how much of the traditional structure we should take with us. It's a really tough question, and I think the answer is going to vary from person to person. I think that if your interpretation of the world works for you and for people around you, then it's okay. There's no such thing as endless number of ways to interpret the world properly, but I'm fairly certain that there is more than just one. Precisely because of how much variability there is between humans and how complex we are, and also because we are capable of creativity. That is all I have for today. Thanks for listening. Like this video if you liked it. See you next time.